Greetings, everyone. I want to warm everybody up a little bit. So I'm going to play a song by my partner. All right? Sit back, enjoy it. This whole world's broke, it ain't a worth fixing. It's time to start all over and make a new beginning. There's too much pain, there's too much suffering. Time to start all over in the new beginning. Don't get me wrong, a lot of life to live in. Wake up and look around at everything that's going down. It's all wrong. See, we need to change it now. This world with too few happy endings. It's like to start all over, make a new beginning. Starting all over, start all over, start all over, start all over. The world is broken into fragments and pieces. Yeah. But once we join together, we can find home. Okay, people. I'm starting a little early because, people don't come on time, people don't come. So this is going to be, if you watch it live, all right, some other time, which won't be really live, but they call it live. All right, I'm going to be doing part 7. I want to go into some things before I get into the actual class. Why am I doing all this? Why am I spending all my time setting this up, writing about it, writing what I'm going to do, say, and all that? If you're following the world, which I'm not going to get into, what's happening with everything that's going on right now. If I told you 99% of everything going on, everything you hear is all a lie. Well, I'm not saying it's not happening, because much of it really is. But is it important? Is it helping the human race in any way? Is it helping anything? Does it do anything for spirit? Does it do anything for God? All right. We're in this phase where people believe that they're spiritual. All right. A joke. Believe that they're one with God. A joke. One with the universe. Well, so what? So you're one with the universe. What's that mean? Anything? Or we all can perceive things and know things. About what? Useless things. Now, we hear people talking to aliens, people talking to angels, people talking to God. Now, over the past 25 years, which I've been following all my life, but I've been working on my own level of awareness. But here's the thing. Everyone that's coming out and talking are not saying much. The word that they have to use over and over, no matter who they are, what they say they are, is love. Well, if we talk about aliens, aliens don't have compassion. They don't have the feelings and emotions that we do. Talking about government, obviously they don't have the same feelings and emotions about people. All right. Then we talk about family. Do they care about what's really happening? So, I don't know if I can do anything with this slide. But it's like this. You went to school, grammar school, high school, maybe you went to college. What did you learn? Anything? We've been programmed over and over by everybody, starting with your parents, then your family members, then your friends, your teacher, your school, everywhere you go, on TV, the radio, whatever you listen to, the internet, it's programming, and it's not good programming. Nothing is beneficial to you spiritually. Now, that is the most important thing I want you to understand right now. The word spiritual is useless in this reality. Everybody claims they are, or says they are. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people do. All the New Age speakers, all the religious people, talk about God, talk about Jesus, talk about different things, deities, and they know nothing about them. Nothing. Meaning, if you ask a person to describe God, they can't. Ask a person to describe what the deity taught them. You can't. All through history, I mentioned it yesterday, the only person really claiming to work with an angel is Muhammad. And if you read what Gabriel supposedly told Muhammad, it's contradictory. So what do you want to believe? Bud Hopkins was talking about UFOs and everything. He never even saw one. But we go into one of the older people, Billy Myers, who said he was working with aliens a long time ago. And he wrote 100 prophecies. He gave them to the world. He sent to every government. And 98 roughly came true. Maybe it's around 90, but most of them have come true over the past 50 years. But here's the thing, people. The Mayans work with aliens. That's where they got the Mayan calendar from. People want the truth. You want to listen to lies. Nobody knows much about the pyramids because there's not much to know that's beneficial to the human race right now. All right, we're going to build pyramids and live in them. We need buildings like that? Really? How many people could you fit in them? We're in a different energy, a different age, and a different personality that we create for ourselves. We are a lot more aware of things, not spiritualism, but things, toys, games, sports, all those kind of things. All of them are useless to attain spiritual awareness. Skiing, hang gliding, all those things do not help you grow spiritually. Now, the biggest bubble of them all is meditation. Meditation alone, done the way it's being taught, is useless. You can't meditate and go into nothingness or think about nothing. You're going to attain nothing. Do you want to be in a place where nothing is important? Oh, I'm one with nothingness. I'm nothing. If that's what you want to be, fine. Go into the bliss state which Buddha taught about. You don't move forward. You don't move backwards. You don't move anywhere. You vibrate in the sound, current, and light, and you stay there. Unaware of change. Unaware of getting out of there. Once you get into that, you will stay there. Now, a person said a long time ago, I'm not going to say who it was, it's easier to become God realized than anything else. We make it much harder than it is. We put everything else, the conditioning and programming from everybody else around us, including entities, demons, and aliens. Do you think any of them know anything more than people do? They know less because all the technology that they have over thousands and thousands of years, longer than we have even been here, have nothing to do with spiritualism. Traveling fast, going through black holes and things like that. Do you think it helps spirit? You're playing, and here's where science will never catch up. We have 3 dimensions in this world. All right, each one has 3 within that. So they say we're going into 6th dimension. Now, we're still in the physical realm. All right, the body's alive. You're in the physical realm. All right, now, if you want science, we can get into that, but I'm not going to get into it too deep right now because science is useless, people. Everything you hear in science is not going to help you move forward or become more spiritual. The thing that they're adding mostly is health. Do you want to live forever? Who wants to live forever? There was a good movie out called Highlander, and he became God in the movie. But the song, which was written by Queen, or sung by Queen, was Who Wants to Live Forever? When you see worlds change and people come and go, it's like living forever and watching your families die. Do you want to do that? Some people say, well, I want to live forever. Really? What do you think you're going to see? Something better? Mankind has not changed in 30,000 years. Oh, their clothes looks a little different. The toys they play with are different. They're still living in the same kind of atmosphere and all that. The water and everything's the same, except a little more contaminated. So where do you want to go with this? All right, I'm building a prelude to before I do the workshop, because I want you to understand who I am really. And I really didn't get into that too much. I don't know if you know what deities are. I call them little gods. All right, when I was little, young, I met with deities and I worked with deities for years. Never read books about deities, never was taught about deities. And yet I was working with one particular for 6 years. And then in time I went to 2 different deities, other ones. The most important one for me was the first one. All right. I'm not going to go into all that because that's my experience, what I learned. But I will tell you this. Deities are just as important as angels are. And all these people say they're working with angels. You're not working with angels, people. Oh, they protect me. Oh, they did. You think that's all they have time to do? And when you say Gabriel, Michael, and all there's 9 of them written in the Bible, if you name them, all right, you're picking on the most famous angels. Why? There's millions of angels out there. And they're the ones that choose to stay with somebody like you, me, or somebody else. All right. And they will stay with you your whole life if you want to connect with them. And a lot of times you don't even really have to hear what they say. Open yourself to it. Realize that it's there. And then these awarenesses will be coming through that you might not have perceived or understood before. All right. The psychic abilities are important at a psychic level, meaning not the physical world. But in the physical world, the psychic abilities are dangerous to mankind. Now, when they were used in the beginning, in Atlantis, they were not dangerous. Atlantis went down for 2 reasons. A race was trying to kill them, and then they started using weapons. All right. The same as when all the angels fell. They started fighting. In the inner worlds, it's not allowed, period. And they were all cast out, including Lucifer and Michael and Gabriel and all of them. They were all cast out. No angels exist that we know by name or anything in the higher realms. All right. They don't really dwell there. Their missions were created for who and what they were and are. Jesus isn't in the highest realm either. He doesn't want to be. He's a he. He's not God. But people want to create their scenarios of their religion, their belief, and everything about it. I can base mine on a whole life of experience. My birthday was 2 days ago. I'm 69. All right. In that time frame, I probably dealt with more aspects of aliens, ships, UFOs, creatures, possession, you name it. Religions, cults, all of it. I was into it all. Hypnosis, all of it. I learned so much from each one of them. But when you're attached to anything, it becomes dangerous. You can't be attached to anything in this reality because it will hold you here. And this is why I'm doing the workshop. So that you don't get locked into Earth is important, life is important, and all those things. Soul can't die. All right. But if you're not aware of what soul does, what good is it? You might as well die because when you reincarnate, you're not going to remember a single thing. And that's scary. Oh, I remember one thing in my life. I remember this. No, I'm talking about your whole life. What you spent the whole life learning. Each time you do it, you learn more stuff. And you think that it's not important, you're wrong. Why go to school? Why do anything? Why learn if you don't need it? God created the perfect body, soul, place, you name it. But each one of those things we destroyed. I mean, we destroyed our bodies in different ways. Tattoo and things like that aren't really that bad, except when you tattoo your eye and you get really serious with destroying the body, that could kill it. But Jesus said this: it's not what you put in your body, it's what comes out of it. And that's something to think about. What would he mean by that? Think about it. Write me a letter. We'll work on it. We'll get into it if you think about it enough. All right. And even the laws, when it comes to laws, he said, live by the laws that are there. If they're unjust, if they're not right, change them. Does anybody go out of their way to change them? Can we change Congress? We need to. Do we need to change the way the presidents are elected? We need to. Do we need more people running for president? We need to. All the things that could make a better scenario of what we get. You can't choose the most important person in the United States from 3 people. Really? How about putting 10, 20, 25? How about putting different people there, like Native people? How about giving us a selection to choose from? And then the last thing about that, age is critical. Old people don't learn much anymore. All right. They're set in their ways, they're set in their belief, and they're set in just about everything. I'm 69. I'm set with a lot of things. I mean, I'm happy with what I'm set in, but I know things that very few people even have a clue about. God is real. That's the first thing I'll tell you. Angels are real, but they don't come down and work with everybody, and they don't have names of people that, well, I'm working with Gabriel, or I'm working with Muhammad. Muhammad said, I'm working with Gabriel. No, it's not like that. The highest angels come down with a specific mission, like the end of the world, or what's going to happen. All right. We need to take this to a different level. All right. What you're learning on earth is useless. Love, having children, buying cars, getting a job, paying mortgages, paying loans, making money, has anything to do with God? Think it does? Think it has anything to do with spirit? It doesn't. We place that attention on. Then dimensions and oneness and all those ideas. Is it useful to become aware of what you are? No. It's anything but. To think you're one with everything, why would you want to be? You need to be one with yourself. Understand what soul is, meaning you, how it plays out in this body that it uses. And realize it can't use the body more than 125 years. At that point, it has to take a new body. So that means it dies, reincarnates, and then it has a new body. When you die and you go into the astral plane, you have a short time frame there, because you don't get the privilege to stay there. All right. And you're going to come back for the word karma. But when you come back, you have very little awareness of any of the things that just went down. You're still going to stick your hand in the fire to know that fire is hot. You're going to still do stupid things to realize that this, that, and the other thing is real in this reality. Soul can't get burnt. Soul can fly. Soul can do a lot of things that the body can't. But it's in a body that's stuck within its own rules and regulations of this reality. It vibrates at a certain vibration. It can't go beyond that. Raise your vibration. To what? To shatter your body? If God itself came down into the lower worlds, they would all explode. Oh, no. Realize the way he created it. I say he because most people relate to God as a he. I say it. All right. I'm going to use it because that's what it is. It's not a he. I just listen to everybody go, well, he said this, he said that. He said nothing to mankind because he's not a he and he's not a man. Oh, but in the Bible, it says what? Images are the same? They're not. Who wrote that? Can you prove who wrote it? Did you hear the person say that? See, everything in the Bible is handing down stories from people that said things that they heard or felt. The whole story in Adam and Eve, the Pope said it's fake. Is it real or isn't it? Well, depends how you look at it. Mankind wasn't hatched, kind of the way Adam and Eve were created. And woman was taken out of man, which is another ridiculous idea. All right. You need the foundation. You can't move forward if you don't know where you're standing. You'll fall through the holes. You'll fall in the cracks, however you want to word it. You need to know you're in hell. It doesn't get worse than this, people. Oh, well, I kill people, I'm going to go to hell. No, you stay in a place in the astral plane for a period of time until you're reconditioned. And then sent back. All right. You need to know little things that when you're out in the real world, you're affected by karma, other people's karma, negative energy. You need to learn about protection and not just saying it doesn't make it happen. What you connect to is what gives you the protection. What are you connected to? Anything? Oh, I'm connected to me. And I could talk to aliens. I could talk to angels. And what do they say, people? Come out and say what true important thing they told you. Don't go out. You might get run over tonight. What did they tell you that's important? Anything to help mankind? I'll give you a lot of facts that can help the whole human race. And the word's not love, because love is not the answer. Never was. It wasn't for like 30,000 years. The past 2,000 years it became important. And did it do anything different for the human race? We still have boxing, we still have sports, vicious fighting, crime, and all those things that show that love wasn't the most important thing. So to say it is useless. Say you're God, and what's that mean? What can you do? Nothing. How can you compare yourself to the most incredible thing, outrageous, multiplex idea, and say you're one with it? You're one with bull. All right? Reality is here, and you're living in it. You need to face it. You're nowhere, and you're nobody. All right? Now, do you always stay that way? Most likely you will. Life after life, you do the same thing. Get married, have children, and die. What's different? What did you learn that made you spiritual? Anything? You're doing the same thing. Well, I got a different car. I got a faster car. I got a bigger house. I got a bigger swimming pool. Got a bigger boat. Does that change anything? I mean, this one, money changes everything. It changes everything when you're looking for a relationship. You got money, you could get almost any person in your relationship. You have no money, it's harder to get somebody in your relationship. A lot of the dating services, I know when I was into them for almost a year, I went on one date. But they want you to make $50,000 a year. They don't even want to put your listing in there unless you make that. What girl wants to go with a guy making $10,000 a year? What guy wants to go with a girl making, well, if she's a worker and stuff, $2,000 a year or something like that? Why? It'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Well, when I can love somebody, you can love anybody. But people don't think like that. They don't know what love is, so how can you love somebody? Well, the sex is outrageous. All right, see, the place where mankind and women place their attention is always in the wrong place. So, are you ready to move into a better place than where you're at? All right. Right now I'm staring at myself, but I got to put up some notes so that I know which way I'm going to go with all this. All right. I am sorry if you wrote me letters and I really can't read it right now, but this workshop's recorded. You can listen to it later. You can send this link to anybody you want. I'm not going to keep it private. If there's a soul out there that wants to move forward, they'll listen. If they're not ready, they'll just drop off and they won't listen. Now, how many people out there get an email and it says, listen to this. And then you see this thing, 3, 2, 1, put on your speakers and listen. You're going to listen to a talk for at least a half hour. You're going to find out in a few minutes, half hour minimum. All right. And what are they going to tell you? What they could have told you in 1 minute. This is B plus, vitamin 12, whatever, and it's good for this. They got to go into these stories. Stories recondition the mind and subconscious. Becomes more acceptable. Not in my world. The second they stop talking, I click it off. I mean, even if I really, really want to know what they're talking about, I have to click it off because I know it's going to be a half hour before I can get to it. Sometimes they say read it. Click it when you're getting ready to leave. It says you can listen to this, read it, and you click on that. You can pull up the documents. Just scroll all the way down to the end and see what they're selling you. All right, they are selling you something, even when they tell you it's free. I'm telling you my workshop's free. All right, I'm not making you send me any money. I'm not making you do anything. Whatever you want to do is up to you with what I give you. All right. Now, I'm telling you, I'm giving you secrets and knowledge. Well, they're secrets because nobody wants to know the truth. I mean, if everybody wanted to know the truth would be out there and nothing would be secret. But the problem is people are so programmed about religion, spiritualism, and all these other words. Aliens aren't going to help us, people. Chalk that right off your chart there. They're not coming next week and they're going to help you. All right. Science is never going to be able to get to the bottom and understand the truth of God. Ever. Not in hell. When you do, when you understand God, you leave. There's no reason to stay here. Oh, my family. Oh, you're going to die. How much do you want to leave them? $1 million, $10 million? You're going to do that? Do you have a will? Do you have all these things? Is that what you care about? Is that all you care about? I have a partner. I worry about her. But I got a life insurance policy, the most I could afford right now. But I'll give her something when I leave. But I don't want to stay here forever. And I know she knows that. My partner's a Lama, Buddhist. She did die 3 times couple weeks ago. The doctor said she was lucky to be alive. All right. And I'm working with her right now. So things don't get easy. And just because you think you're aware, spiritual being, doesn't change anything. And here's one thing, people. If you become aware, I'm not using the word spiritual. If you become aware, just means things get harder. Because aware people can't do stupid things. When you do stupid things, you create more karma. Hold on. Hello? Hey, how are you?
Oh, hold on. There we go. Hi, Tommy.
Greetings. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
All right. Did you ever listen to any of my workshops?
I listened to one that you sent me, yes. But
All right. I'm up to 7. And I'm trying to get into some really important things today.
okay.
So if you got questions, please, I'll answer them. I mean, I'm leaving it open.
Okay, well, actually, that's fine. I'll go off. I'll just watch you. I wanted to ask you something after. It's really important. If you have time, just give me 5 minutes. I don't really want it on YouTube. It's really something personal.
Okay. You got my email. It's hawksblood1@aol.com.
Yeah.
Or Truth in God Only. Send it to Truth in God Only.
Okay.
Right? Because that's where I'm keeping all my spiritual stuff, all of my things contained into the workshop. Because my Hawksblood one's loaded with stuff, thousands of emails, and it's just so hard to go through it.
Yes.
But, you can put something in the chat room if you want, just simple questions. But like I said, anything important, you can Skype me as well. I'd rather talk to a person than talk.
Yeah, I'd rather talk to you than type it out. It's so much better. So yeah. So if I could Skype you, what's your Skype?
It's Hawksblood11.
Hawksblood11. Okay. All right. So I'll just go to YouTube then. I don't have to be on here.
All right. No problem.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you. Okay. Thank you, Tommy. Bye.
Thank you for stopping in. All right, people. You know, when we talk about truth, it's like everybody thinks they know it. Everybody says they have their truth. You can have your truth and believe it, but is it really truth? If you did not ever step out of your body, meaning out of body experience, you have no clue about it. If you never stood before an alien, you have no idea what an alien could even look like. If you have not did these things, have a death experience, you don't know what it is, really. You listen to other people. And sadly, I listened to everybody's experience about a death experience. I had 5. And I listened to them. Here's something people don't realize. When you have a death experience, every part of that reality completely changes. It's not like you're going into the living room and meeting your grandmother, your grandfather, Jesus is sitting there, God's standing there. It's not going to be like that. Your mind makes it that. The mind only can perceive what it can create within its reality. So you're going to perceive what the mind allows it to perceive, and soul can't bring that experience back into the body because the mind is already programmed with what it experienced. 99% of the people say, I met my grandmother, I met my mother, met my family member, or I met Jesus, or whatever. No, you didn't. All right. The people that meet Jesus have to be more aware of who and what he is. He's not God. So obviously you're not meeting God. You're meeting a man. Do you want to meet a man or do you want to meet God? Now, it's not a matter of who you want to meet. It's where your vibration, where your level of awareness is. How aware are you? All right? Do you have a clue what God is? Do you have a clue what Jesus is? Jesus was the most spiritual person to walk this planet. I don't care who says anything about it. I'll put my life on the line to the day I die that that's the truth. Gandhi, Muhammad, Buddha, I mean, all these people aren't even close to what Jesus was, but he wasn't God. And if you don't like that, just leave, because that's the truth. And I know people don't like the truth. Well, the Bible's a Bible. Did Jesus come to you and say, I'm God? Nobody, no entity, no deity can tell you they're God. Not even Lucifer, not even Satan. They cannot say they're God. The closest you'll get to that is they will say they are all you want and all you need to perceive and all you are looking for, which is a lie. You'll never find the highest level of what you need. Yes, there's negative energies, entities, and ETs and all that. And they're all working pretty well because people believe what comes to them. Muhammad, when he met Gabriel, how could he prove it was Gabriel? His brother told him it was Gabriel. How does his brother know that it's Gabriel? See, the stories get ridiculous if you look at the facts behind it. We're looking at truth here. I'm only giving you information that could help you rise above where you are right now to a level where you can actually perceive and work for truth and understanding what soul really is. When you do that, you're working off a lot of karma. You're working on truth of the other worlds, other dimensions where you will be going. And the astral plane isn't where you want to go. If you die right now, you're going to go to the astral plane for a short period of time and then reincarnate. You don't have to do that. Buddha talked about reincarnation and reincarnation. No, you don't need to. If you stop your karma, stop making it. Well, how do you do that? Well, it's not that easy. The spiritual quest, which I've been on all my life, is the hardest quest you can take in this reality. Learning to go into space or all that stuff's useless. It's not going to help you understand God. It's not going to help you understand what you are as soul. Changing your vibration. And we used to be able to walk through walls and things like that, but it isn't beneficial. All the things we put our energy into and on is not beneficial. And I'm going to get into some things right now where we should be focusing and what happens. Let me just pull something up here. Hold on. All right. What things are needed in life? What things are not needed in life? What do you want in life? Much of the things you don't need. All right, and one of them is called pleasure. Feeling happy, feeling good, feeling that energy that makes you think you're happy. Drugs, drinking. Why does 90% of the planet drink? Because they're so unaware of the real feelings they could have and find they're going to stick with the lowest vibration. Smoking, drinking, and all the drugs doesn't help. Hallucinating and seeing weird stuff doesn't make you spiritual either. I had a friend that wanted me to come out to his island and teach ayahuasca classes. I don't want to take people that way. I'll tell people, if they're stuck in their movement in spiritual growth, awareness, the first thing you need to do is shock yourself. I mean, not plug yourself into the wall or something. Do something. Do LSD. Do ayahuasca. Do something. Once you get out of the body. Once you touch that, hopefully you'll get the desire to do that and understand it. But not where your body's controlled, your thoughts are controlled and out of control, and you're hallucinating and seeing things that you really don't need to see that aren't there or aren't useful in any way. When you dream, you have different levels of dream state. When you go into the deep state, you can be aware of your past lives. In your mid states, which you have maybe 100 dreams a night, it brings feelings and emotion you had all your life and squeezes them into that. And sometimes they're people you know, and then sometimes they're people you don't. So the mind in that state is creative. But it's important. You wouldn't dream if it wasn't important. God doesn't create garbage. I love that phrase. We do. We create lies. God doesn't. We create stories. God doesn't. And hopefully by the end of this, I'll go into depths about God. But until you understand who you are, what you are as a soul, what that really means. What is a soul? I mean, people still can't think of the definition of spirit and soul. They're different. Well, you can say his spirit. I mean, that's what people want to hear. You use words to work with people to get them to understand what you're saying to some level. When Jesus called God Father, he used that word because they had no clue what a god could be. The Egyptians' gods were aliens, and they accepted that. Do you want to accept that? Go back to Atlantis. It was one of my first lives. It was my first life on this planet. They were working with God, and then aliens came and realized that they were way above where they were. They had to destroy them. They didn't create us. All the stories, the Anunnaki stories, and all those stories, the giants, they didn't create us. We were all brought here. We are different races. The black race, yellow race, red race, white race. White race meaning most of the brown races. Are different realities, realms in this physical reality. Different worlds. I shouldn't say realms. All right. We're becoming one. When everybody keeps having sex with each other, we just all take all those DNA and mix it together. So the human body becomes one with itself, not with God. So let's talk about some things that are important. And some people should write notes. You don't remember much in an hour what I would be saying or anybody else says. So I'm going to go into a few things in my life that you should think about in your life. What's one of the most important things to have in your life? Think about it. Think about it right now. What do you consider sports, TV, computer, family? What's the most important thing? Right? You should write it down. Now, have a list. These things you could look back at and say, what do I think is important? What's really important in my life? What do I know about God? Those little notes can help you decide if you're moving forward or not. What is the most important thing in your life? What are important things in your life? Now, well, being compassionate, okay, people accept that as very important. Now, unless you have a heart of stone, music can't touch you. I wanted to play a song. I don't know if they'll close my site down if I do. I'm afraid to. But it was called Cindy's Song. And it's the album's All One People. All the songs were written by children. And believe it or not, All One People was a famous musician who became a really big rock star later on. All right. But when he did the album, he wasn't. He was involved with the sales company, KM. All right. I went through all that as well. But it's a song about a little girl having somebody knock on the door at nighttime and coming in a room. And it's a father. And it's a life of being, it's her life in that not knowing where to go, not knowing how to get help. So, we don't realize what we do to mankind. All these little things. But a heart, do people really have a heart? A heart pumps blood through the body, and we all have that. But is it something with feelings? Of course not. All your feelings come from your brain, your five senses. Are they useful to spirit? No, they are not. Soul, when it steps out of the body, doesn't have any of them. It's not connected to that. All right. So let's start with one thing that's very important in anyone's life. The word's music. Music can take you anywhere you need to go. All right. And I worked with a Tibetan teacher for a couple years. And through him, I learned how to ride the wave of music. When a song starts playing, we hear it, it can be written down and recorded and all that. But that vibrates and it moves into energy. And I'm saying, sure, you can listen to a bad song, a good song. But there's many songs that could just, if you just listen to music, without singing, you're not being programmed by it. You're just riding the wave of the sound. That sound can take you a long way into the inner worlds. All right, because that's where it's coming from. All sound comes from the higher realms. All right. What we do to it is the same as what we do to other things, like the Bible and things. We reword it, re-describe it, and make it something different. All right. Songs, many times you can't understand the words of the song. I don't like music if I can't understand the words. If there's singing in it. I love singing. But something, now I realize I got a lot of things going on in my reality. I had this dementia, not dementia. I can't even think of the right word, but things are backwards, and I was super active, so my mind never stayed focused. I will go around in a circle. All right. Now, everything comes together in the center. That doesn't mean we're all one and connected, but all things come to the center, back to the one of what you are. For you, your circle, not your circle is not everybody else's circle. Medicine wheel. I don't know if you can see that or not. All right, with a cross in the middle. It's you go around and you come back to the start, but there's a center. All right, and we should focus on the center, not the fire, the ring going around it, the ring of fire going around it. All right. So when you hear music, close your eyes. Don't try to figure out what it is, because when you touch the music itself, you'll understand what the Creator created when He created it, where it took Him. This is very important, people, and very few people could even understand it or listen to it or know it. All right. I suggest start with flute music, harp music, violin music. I don't know. I'm not into piano music, but what floats your boat? What vibrates within your body. And just put it on. Even native music. A lot of people can't even listen to native music. It's pretty hard. Uh, it's where you're vibrating, because whatever level you're at, you need something to vibrate with you from that level to bring you to the next level. You just can't take yourself and put you in the highest vibration. You'll shatter yourself. Like you take a tuning fork, or somebody with a high pitched voice can crack a glass. You don't want that to happen. All right. So you need music that stimulates you and you can feel it. All right. So that's why I pick those instruments always as a starter. You can use anything later on, but you need something like I use Enigma. They have native music in between it and different things, and it's interesting. Uh, and it really could help you get to a different direction, different space, and different energy. So that's one important step to take. Now, people with dementia and Parkinson's and all those kind of things need to listen to music daily. My brother's coming down with it rapidly. And I told him he needs to keep music on all day. He needs to be active. But without the music, it's not beneficial. See, when you're in the house and you're sitting there doing nothing, your mind's closing down. You got music on, help you rise above where your mind is going. All right. I suggest you give that information to anybody you know with dementia, or if you work with people with it, play music. I was working for the phone company. I went in a person's house, and he had the old CDs, 8 tracks, whatever they were, and he says I can't listen to it no more. My wife died, and he says you want to take it? I don't want it in my house. And I said, well, I'll play you a tape. I had a cassette player with a tape in it, and I let him play it. He says, oh man, this is beautiful. This is incredible. I said, keep it. So he had a way to get to a different vibration. I mean, music, if you get stuck on it, it usually keeps you at one space, depending on the music. Enigma goes all over the place, so it could take you to whatever level. But some music, it's good to help you focus and at least get out of the body. Where you need to start. I said, the starting point is leaving the body. Understanding soul. You can't get nowhere further spiritually or aware, can't grow until you learn what that is. You can't build on something if you don't know what you're building on or what you're building with. I mean, drum beats are really important. That's what they did in the old days, old hundreds of old days, thousands of years old days. Drums, a beat, a rhythm. It locks the mind and it keeps you in a space. Flute is a little more abstract and it's a little more creative for the conscious mind. All right. But when you're doing meditation, all right, a mantra is really important. A mudra is also important. Now, Hinduism and Tibet and Tibetism, to name two that use it. A mudra means, let me see if I can figure this out here. Hold on. A mudra, like you keep your fingers like this and you do different things with your fingers. All right, that would be a mudra. Now, a mantra, you would be saying, singing, whatever. It could be a sound, a simple sound or a vibration that you create. And the best way to get that is go outside and go to a park, put your back next to a tree, and close your eyes and just start singing sounds. And suddenly you'll find one that might vibrate or be what you need to use. And I mean, you start with the basic ones. Om, whatever sounds you need to start with. And then be creative. Say animal sounds, name or do different things or names of things and stuff. Tree. Then you'll find something that vibrates just right for you. So when you do your meditation, you add the mantra. And to keep yourself from doing fidgety things, you could put your hands like this. I don't know if you can see. Let me get back here. And pretend there's energy in your hands. You could use like, just put your hands out, sending your energy up and down and scooping it up. There's a lot of things you can do, but that's the mantra. So both of them go together. Now, what's wrong with most meditations is nothingness. You don't want to go into a meditation and think about nothing. And the way I would start off with telling people what to do is you create a door. When your eyes are closed, see a door, a golden door. Can't see a golden door? See a golden ball of light. Can't see a golden ball of light? Create a color light, any color that you can. If you can create a ball of light, whatever color, move towards it. Not physically, when you see it. If you can't do that, have it move towards you. If you can't see anything, work with that. All right? Imagine going through a door. Don't have to see it. The programmed ideas of what mind has to see and know to do something. All right? Say you're going through the door. Tell yourself, and this is critical, there'll be a guardian angel or spiritual guide on the other side of the door. And there will be, if you go through it. Where you are, I do not know. So here's the thing. Close your eyes. If you see nothingness, say I'm going through the door and I'm going to see my angel, my guide. All right, when you do go there, all right, at that point, open yourself up to the energy. See what you feel. What you feel is very critical because some people are not aware, not guided, not protected, have no awareness of anything. And like what was mentioned in the chat room already, entities, deities, and aliens, not deities, sorry, demons and entities could be there. And they'll take different forms. They don't have to take on a form that what they really are. Remember that. You take on a form of an angel and they stand there. You're going to accept them because they're wearing white. Most people accept anything that's wearing white and have blue eyes. Why? Because you're programmed to believe it. The Anunnaki, hold on, I'm not doing good with names here. The Nordics are tall, blonde hair, blue eyes. And they're not spiritual, and they're not good. And I know a lot of people. I did a UFO conference with one of the speakers that was debating me on that. And I said, tell me what good he did for you. Oh, he saved me in a car accident. I said, what else did they do for you? Many things. I said, name one other thing. And he couldn't. So when we create our desires and we create what we want in it, then we create our own foundation, how much we believe it. And we usually add a lot more to it to make ourselves believe it, even though it's not real. So if you see a guide, see how you feel. Here's the most critical thing you'll learn, and nobody will ever tell you it, maybe other than me. If you see anything in front of you, whatever, Lucifer is not a demon. If you see Satan and he's in a costume or a disguise, or whatever you see, all right, how do you feel? How's your heart feel? You're feeling emotions. You feel afraid? You feel worried, different? You're not sure? Well, at that point, challenge whatever you see always if it doesn't feel right. I mean, anything can come to you. And if you believe it's them or what you think it is, and they pretend they are, you'll be stuck. I know good people, famous people that sold their soul to the devil and was happy about it. But you don't want to do that. This isn't about money. I'm not teaching about making money. I'm not teaching about being six-dimensional being, vibrating and all that. All right. This is about being real. Understanding the truth, understanding why you came here, why you should want to leave, and all the steps in between that. So when you say angel's there, guide, whatever it is, I mean, I have one that wears a cloak, always, never shows me his face. All right, and I dealt with him for so many years, but I always had three. So you might have one, two, or three more. But realize they'll always be there when you need them. Now, learning to communicate with them is a little hard, but here's the thing: they're going to take you somewhere because their mission is to help you take the next step in your spiritual growth or your awareness. All right. So don't tell them, I want to go to the moon. I want to go to Venus. I want to see Egypt. I want to see. No. Allow them to take you where they know you need to go. And they will. Not going to take you in the fire and see you burning in hell, the ideas of that and all that. No. They'll take you where your next experience of growth will come from. Kind of like the Scrooge story, but it'll be beneficial for you always. But never go anywhere if something's negative. So what did I tell you what you do? You challenge it. How do you challenge a deity? How do you challenge an angel? How do you challenge a god, a guide, any of it? Well, the simplest thing, and it works in all the inner worlds, people, there's no higher power, and this will prove it to you, no matter what anybody else tells you. The Pope, the Dalai Lama, anybody. Whatever you see, all right, if you're looking at me right now, say, he's the demon. Say, in the name of God, blocked out, in the name of God, be gone. If you're not a spiritual being. All right, no entity, no creature, no anything can stand there and stay they are. All right, that's the power of God, and it only works when you work with it. It doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't want to, it doesn't need to, because nobody wants it. Sad, but it's the truth. Most people don't believe it, and so my chair is horrible. I got to buy a new chair someday. So when you do that, remember you're protected. You should have some awareness of what you believe in, always. And what happens, here's one serious thing that can happen. If a person's unaware, doesn't know anything about anything, says, well, I'm going to leave my body. Well, here's the first thing that could happen. They leave their body. And they freak out. They're thrown back in their body. But guess what? That experience will be taken away from them probably for this lifetime. So if you want to waste lifetimes, there's a lot of simple ways to do it. All right, but if you want to move forward, there's a lot of things you need to do, learn, and be aware of when you do something important, like leave your body. The first time I ever was totally aware of leaving my body, completely, in every detail, the whole experience that I went through, I was shown 10 years of my life, of the future and everything. It was incredible. I'm not going to say it's going to happen for everybody that way, but it was the first time I actually stood before myself, looking back at myself and everybody else in the room. And I realized what was happening. But don't freak. Remember, if this is, it's like people going to a haunted house looking for ghosts and a ghost pops out and they run away. Don't go somewhere where you're not ready to go. If you're not ready, you're not ready, people. I can't make you ready. Only you can. And you have to work on what you do, what you believe, what you feel, what you think, to get ready to do it. Are you ready to face higher things than this reality? There's no limitations in those realms. And there's no such thing as control and fear and all those words. They all drop when you go past the astral plane. It only gets better. But things change. Your body changes. Your soul body changes. I don't want to go into too many details about that right now. I don't want to scare you away. Because you're becoming a light body. Not light in weight, light. All right? So imagine being a light beam instead of a solid person. Big difference. Well, can a light have sex? Can a light eat? Can see you can't bring those realities with you either. All that's got to be let go. The word attachment to this reality is what keeps people here. I want to come back and do this, or I want to come back and do that. Go right ahead. You're not going where you need to go. You're just playing. I'm looking forward to see the new Matrix, because the Matrix is a great way to look at reality and how it can screw a person up really bad. What they believe is happening, and everything else in between. So, what I'm getting to today is the simplest part and the most important part of meditation. All right. Uh, with that, dreams are important. All right. Uh, think about your mudra. Think about your mantra. If you need them, you might not need them. You could start without using them and then add them if nothing's working. Then, like I tell people, change where you are, change the situation, change the energy. You're doing it in your house, do it outside, do it in your yard, do it in the park, do it next to a river, do it next to an ocean, do it next to something that the energy is so different. And it'll make it easier, believe it or not. Even being in the woods, putting your back next to a tree changes your energy. You put your real feet, your feet without shoes on and everything, on the ground. And you connect. Put your feet in the water. You can connect. The ocean goes around the planet. Just see yourself spread out around the planet with that energy. It can do nothing but make you feel better. Little things. These are all little things. Right now, when we start leaving our bodies, you'll start going to different places. I don't want to give you too many ideas yet, because you got to get used to going to the astral plane first. You have to, because you got to go through that to get to the next realm. All right. The idea is not to get stuck there, because everything you get there is like 100 times better than here. You don't got to eat. You don't have to go to bed. You can fly. You can do a lot of things. You can't get killed. So, wow, that's where I want to be. That's heaven. No, it's not. The body's not heaven. If you're in a physical body that looks like a physical body, you're nowhere near heaven. The truth. Hold on, let me just go back into the chat room. Hold on. Sorry. Device not connected. Somebody tried to get in. You got to put your mic on. I don't know. Let me just put that in the chat room. All right. You got to do a few things to get on. You can come into the chat room first if you have to. Let me know. But that's what you need to do. All right. So I'm not trying to scare anybody away from this, because things might sound scary here and there, especially when you're changing all the programs you think you know. None of them are beneficial. Think of that. All these stories and cloning and genetic coding and all those words have nothing to do with the soul. Soul separate than the body. They're going to create zombies. And that's something you definitely don't want to become either. But there's a drug in Africa that they use, and years ago they started using it, and it makes zombies. It turns people into these incredibly weird, sick things. But the idea is staying focused, create, and write down some of the things you desire, because you don't want to lose track where you're going. Keep notes, just short notes. You don't have to write a book on everything you hear, feel, see, and think. But little things that will bring you back to something that you realized that will always be beneficial. All right. I guess they couldn't get into the chat, into the site. I'm sorry about that. It's not that complicated, but I'm always on the inside. I'm not on the outside. So it's different from me. So getting back to this workshop here. When I talk about like the earth, every plane Not the worlds. Not all the worlds in the lower, in the physical reality, have the same vibration. All right. No matter what people tell you, that's what it is. But when you go into a higher realm, the astral plane, third, second, fourth, fifth realms, and things like that, they each have sounds, and the whole realm vibrates at that sound. That sound could tell you where you are if you hear it. You get glimpses of the highest sounds in a lot of your trips and journeys, not meaning you're staying there or you actually were there. It's they're filtering through the light and sound that comes down to this reality. And I'll describe that real simple. God is at the top, and it sends light and sound down in the line, coming straight down to the physical earth, through all these worlds, straight down to earth. There's a line going from the earth all the way back up into God. And then there's a line right smack in the middle. The middle is the bliss state. You stay on that vibrating sound. You're not going back towards God, and you're not going back towards earth. You're staying right there. So that's where you would go if you needed a place to rest, but you'd have to be fully aware to do that, because otherwise you're liable to go there and you will be stuck there. All right? Which you don't want to do, obviously. All right, the earth is the most hardcore, noisy sounds. Ever go in a machine shop? I mean, it's really coarse. All right, and it's loud, and it doesn't make you feel good. The vibration alone doesn't make you feel good, doesn't help you feel good. The astral plane is kind of like a low hum. All right, if you were doing, it's not coarse, but it's not a spiritual high vibrating sound. And neither is the astral plane. But you can feel it, and you can feel it through your whole body, hear it through your whole body. When you go into the mental plane, which is the world after it, becomes a high hum. And you're sure you heard it in your ears here and there. This high-pitched sound. See, you have all these bodies, but you stay in one. You let go of one, you move into the next one. But while you're in this body, you can still touch on all those other bodies that are there, up until the soul plane. Because that's where your soul truly stays. I'm not saying it stays there forever, because soul can leave there, but it usually doesn't. I'm not going to go into that now. But like on the third wheel, when you hear this hum, you can just ride on that hum. But when you get into the soul plane, you're going to hear the high sounds of flute and a violin. And it'll be relaxing, warming, and all those concepts. But realize you're not in the body when you're hearing it. Well, you can hear it in this body while you're in it. But when I'm saying the sound's not there, it's in the higher realm. Meaning you touch that realm. All right? You're allowed to. You're not allowed to stay there. You're not allowed to do things in it. Not at this point. The guides, which are I call deities, or little gods, are on all the realms up until the soul plane. Meaning there's something there making sure things don't go through it that don't belong or have the right to. Now, you say, I'm going to go here, there, and everywhere. No, each realm's God, protector, you have to be and do a certain thing and certain things to get past. It's not a game. It's real. Well, it's like, what was this? A leprechaun or whatever it was says, name my Rumpelstiltskin. Says, name this and you can get a wish, whatever. I don't remember the story. It's been so long. But you can try things, but you can try it forever. You're not going to get what it is because something else has to happen. And I'm not going to explain that now. When you're ready for it, I will. But most souls don't go past the astral plane. Even the ones that say they do. Well, I heard the sound. I heard stories, people talking about being with the masters on this realm and that realm. I said, what are you doing? sitting by the river or sitting here. And what were you doing? Just drinking tea. Or what? I said, really? You're going to meet the highest angel, highest deity, or spiritual being, and you're going to sit and talk and have tea and not even remember what you were talking about. Why have the experience? It's like living here over and over and over again if you don't remember it. Do you understand that? I hope you do, because you're trying to move forward. At least if you're listening to me right now, you could go back to say, well, that's just too much work. I don't want to bother with it. And stay on in life and live within it. Be happy. Be happy the rest of your life. That's for sure. Reincarnate again. Be happy again for the rest of your life. That's for sure. Do it over and over and over. Don't you think? Go on a ride 10,000 times. My bulb is going crazy. Go on a ride 10,000 times. After the third, fourth time, you're already bored with it. I did that when I was little. I was on a ride. The guy would let it. I was on a wheel. It was going around with my brother. And my brother was screaming to get off. And I said, no, keep it going. And the guy said, I'll keep it going until you tell me to stop. And my brother was screaming, let me off, let me off. And I just said, no, keep it going, keep it going. So you don't want to get stuck in the wheel. I mean, the wheel of 86. I mean, there's a lot of words for it. Karma. All right. Do you have the right to interfere with other people? Not really. I'm not going to go into the spiritual laws either right now. I don't have time to do all that. I mean, each one I want to get into. I'm trying to get you ready for the next step. Each step's one step. And you just can't jump through these steps. Can I give you the ultimate? No, I can't. You wouldn't know what to do with it. Is there an alternate? There's always a highest in the reality that we're in. And that's getting out of the body. It's the highest you can do. Remote viewing is a very bad thing. I mean, what we play with is showing you the ignorance of the human race. All right. These worlds, like the world of God, the highest realm, which would be like the 12th, 13th plane, for words, for numbers, whatever. The sound alone would destroy the body, shatter it like a glass. So you think that vibration can come down to this low vibration? You think people are vibrating high enough to withstand something that high? Of course not. Don't even try to think that, because it's impossible. When I hear these people talk and more people talk, it's just mind-boggling. They're so ignorant. All right. Soul on a soul plane is in bliss. And it is active and it is aware. So you're not just floating on energy in a vibration. Just shaking in it, whatever. You're creative and you can create. All right. The world beyond that, you are the creator. You're not God, and I'm going to say it over and over. You're not God, but you're a creator of your reality in that realm. You play God. But see, God doesn't let people play God until they're ready to take the place on of being a God for their own reality. The same as we got to take control of what we do on this planet as a person. Soul can control the mind if it's aware. Mind can't go against it if soul's aware. I fight it constantly, but I always win. I mean, soul always wins. Can you be a part of reality? Of course you can. You have to be, because you're still here. You have to eat. You have to go to bed. You have to take a shower. You have to do these things. Become a person that lives on water. You can do it for maybe a year. Now, baby Buddha, that's getting big now. They said he sat under a tree for 15 years and never ate. Again, he was filmed for 2 weeks, but they wouldn't let him film him at nighttime. I wonder why. So, to make things impressed on other people, you have to make them believe it. I was a magician as well, a stage magician and a real magician. A stage magician makes people see and believe things that aren't real. All right? Do you want to be in that place? No. You want the truth. You want to see the truth. You don't want to see the lies and make them believe it and tell yourself they're real. When soul leaves the body's completely alive, doesn't die. It's kind of like sleeping. If anything happens when you're out of the body, soul will jump back into the body. All right? It's that simple. Spirit doesn't allow you to leave unless it's totally protecting you to make sure you go back in. Unless, I'm not going to say the unless, but I will. Contradict you, right? If you're ready to leave this realm, it's one easy way to leave the realm. Leave your body and the house burns down. All right? You can leave it without anything happening. Just have a heart attack. When you're ready, if you're really ready, if you really want to. I'm not saying people that have heart attacks are wanting to. No, that's something different. I'm saying to get out of your body to leave this reality. And you're ready not to come back. Because you don't want to leave forcefully until you're aware of what, where, when, and how, and everything that's going to go down after you leave. You are the soul body, stuck in a physical body with unawareness. All right, which you're trying to work out. Hold on, let me just check one thing. I just want to make sure. So here's the thing, people. I am open. I said if you partake of my workshop, anybody's free to call me on Skype, and I will work with them on Skype as well. Because some people have certain things they're stuck in, and they don't need to get involved with everything else because they want to work one thing out, which is fine. Working one thing out is better than trying to work everything out when you don't know what everything else you have to work out is. All right, if you know you're stuck on something, that you... So, as we move forward, I'm not going to go too far today. I don't go far every day because of one reason. You're not going to remember much. It's just like Satan, how he's taking control over most of the people on planet. Give them what they want. I need a drink. Not that they know what they want, because they don't. Sorry. They think they do. They think things are great. They think just, look at the world, people. I was going to say this at the beginning, but I'll say it right now. My birthday was 2 days ago. I became 69. And I was thinking, when I was 20, I didn't want to be 30. When I was 30, I thought that was old. And when I saw my mother as 30, when I saw 40, when I saw 50, and I said, man, that is old. When I saw 60, now I'm touching 70, and that is old. Older than that, I don't want to be too much more. All right? Because it's better when you leave. If everybody knew how incredible it can get, wouldn't want to stay here. Imagine escaping all the things of this reality: drinking, smoking, drugs, stealing, lying, cheating, crime, abuse, and all that, all the hardships and all that. Imagine getting away from all that and then being super powerful as well in a different kind of way. So when I was going through all that, I was dealing with music. I can play any song. It'll bring me back to that reality when I first heard it. I can tell you the first song for this, the first song for that. And I was going on with that, and I remembered the first song, my first girlfriend, the first time I told her I loved her. So even that can touch incredible feelings, but it's feelings that keep you tied to this reality. All right? So music can be a good thing, play the song over and over, it could be a bad thing. That's why I said pick music that's a little bit different, that has like somewhere where it's going that's not familiar to you, and it'll help you grow a lot faster. Because it's going to take you like, instead of going down this one road every day, let's go across the bridge to another place. All right. But for me, it took me this whole lifetime to understand two things: all my past lives and why I'm here. All right. 99.9% of all people on this planet have no clue why they're really here. Nobody's here to help somebody else. All right. That's going to be a hard thing to believe, but it's the truth. You can't help somebody else. I mean, you heard the phrase, God helps those who help themselves. It's the only way you're going to get anywhere. Counseling and all that, it helps you forget and dwell within different realities. But the way you get through it is letting go yourself and going through it. I just finished, it's not finished, but just about finished, the book. It's on one of the worst crimes on the planet. But I have experience in much of it, in every way, so I can write the book. And I'll tell you, it's usually not, it wouldn't be written by a man, all right? But it's, I think it's up to 250 pages. And I need somebody to edit it, but they're going to have to be a really strong person. Because I asked one of my best friends, who's one of the top speakers and works with women groups and all that, and she said she couldn't do it. So, and I don't want just Joe Schmo to do it, because he's not going to edit it right, because he might not understand half of the things I'm trying to get out or explain. All right, same as when I'm doing this workshop. I let somebody else transcribe this and say and talk, they wouldn't get to where I want to go with each thing I'm talking about. If they know about aliens, they can't experience what I know about UFOs. They can't experience what I know about a Bigfoot, the Hershey monkey, which was freed from the Montauk Project, all those kind of things. I went through it physically, alive, well, not drunk or anything. So we each have to get our experience. And sometimes I'm trying to think how much time I want to put into it tonight, but I talk about the whirling dervishes. They spin around in a circle and they leave their bodies. But their body keeps spinning. The mindset keeps it going around in a circle, and then they're able to leave. When you do a mantra and a mudra, that's creating a space for your mind to stay so it can leave. So it's different ways. You need to find out what works for you. The music, the place, and the sound, all those things. But that's the critical part. Then the part that nobody talks about is the silver cord. All souls are connected by a silver cord from their astral body to their physical body. It's there for a reason, people. It's to keep people from going into places where they don't know where they're going and getting stuck. So it pulls them back to their body. It's like you're going fishing, you got this cord, you can just pull yourself all the way back to the fishing pole. All right. It's a good thing to know. You can see it. You can see it. It's in multiple different ways. Silver sparks, light, a solid cord, all different ways. But it is there, people. Now, the truth is, you don't need it as you become aware. You need it until you do. I'm going to leave it at that and hope you can understand that statement. It's simple. When you're ready to let go of it, you can. But you need to know where you're going and how to get there and all those other things first. Okay, here's the things that kind of lock you into this reality. I'm just going to name them so you can understand where your attachments are: food, entertainment, sports, TV and the computer, hobbies, smoking, drinking, sex, even love. That we have Most people have little concepts of what love truly is in reality. And then, never mind what it really means to God, which it does exist, and it is, and it's not what we perceive it to be here. And I can't go into that detail right now. But if you feel the physical body, the emotions and senses all have to do with love, it doesn't. It's what we gave to the definition of love. Love didn't exist before 2,000 years ago. It started when Jesus started teaching about Mary Magdalene, when he fell in love with her. And he showed it. And he had a child. And nobody wants to know that either. But he showed it. You can't teach love. You can only show it. All right? When they say Jesus came here to teach love and protection and forgiveness, you can't forgive somebody else. You don't have the right to. You can't forgive yourself. It's not that easy, people. Karma is payback. If you do something, you got to pay it back. Oh, I forgive myself for it. You can't go to a psychic and they wave their magic wand over you and it's gone. All these programmed ideas people believe. Well, how do we overcome them? You need to add things into your life that will help you do that. All right? Finding the right things, okay? What if I told you there are none? Our mind, our ego, makes us believe everything's important without any awareness of soul. But without awareness of soul, there is nothing. Nothing real. And that's why I say think about the Matrix. I hope that the new movie's good. It's on HBO Max on the 22nd, which I need to watch to see where they take it. Realize producers base a lot of stuff. The 6-part UFO series was written by somebody that had all the facts of the UFO realm, every fact that he could find, and made it into one movie. And a lot of people take information, put in a movie, and have to say fiction. This is not a person, real, live or dead, which obviously it is. But they can't. They have to tell you that it isn't. All right. Sorry, I'm starting to get tired as well. There are things you have to understand, people. And I'm going into them in detail. That's why it's taken so long. Meditation and the right exercise will help you a real lot. Accepting what happens without having it happen will help bring it to you. But the scenario, like your door opens out usually. But if your door opens in, guess what? If you push on it, it's not going to go nowhere. So you have to step back and let the door open. Your guides, your angels will be able to help you with that when you're ready. Say you're ready. Tell yourself you're ready and be ready. And it will happen. Remember that. Only you can do that. No psychic, no person, nobody else. Once you make the decision, you have to stick with it. You can't say it's going to be 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 100 years. What you should tell yourself, you want it to happen before you die. Because you don't want to be coming back. Hopefully you didn't create too much bad karma that will make you come back no matter what. Murder and rape are two of them. All right. There's so many people out there speaking about spiritualism and love. All right, medicine people, shamans, spiritual leaders, religious leaders, occult leaders. How many of them had an honest, actual experience? And a good one at that. How many people are talking about dream experiences and everything else other than the truth? A lot of them. All right, relating religion to spiritualism is a contradictory as well. I mean, somebody gave me a book, Buddha and Jesus. I said, no, they didn't teach the same thing. You can't compare two things. Two opposite things, you can't compare them and say they're the same. It's ridiculous. And this person wrote a whole book on it because he was living a lie. I don't know, whatever he believed, whatever he felt, whatever he thought was a lie. He's not ready for the truth. Buddha and Jesus are different. Buddha believed in oneness and the bliss state. Jesus believed in a God, one, singular. A big separation there. The biggest separation that exists. God and everything else. All right. Meditation can be called an exercise because you need to do it a certain amount of time that works for you. Once you have an out-of-body experience, realize how long it takes and what you had to do to get there. Because that's how much time you're going to have to put in to make it work all the time. Usually. And if you get out of your body right away, remember that. Because then you realize you could always get out right away when you have to. All right. We're in the lowest part of these realms. It vibrates the lowest. When you start raising your vibration, it's like a light bulb going on outside at nighttime. Everything comes to it. So does that mean you're a good person or a bad person? Well, it means you got the light. But you can use it badly, unwisely. But being aware of all that is the first step. Well, love is probably the hardest thing to find. And we usually accept second to whatever we desire or need. Harmful? In a lot of ways. Living life, just living life, if that's what you want, you might not call it harmful. Doing is what soul needs to do and wants to do. And mind usually shuts it down, stops it, puts every wall and block you can in front of it. Holding any pattern keeps you where you are. Yeah, where are you with that? I'm not saying I'm perfect. I don't say I'm spiritual. When I'm spiritual, I won't be here. All right. While I'm attaining it, here I'll be here. And it's almost over. I had the chance to leave already. And now I'm not sure. I wouldn't have really known the real reason why I came here if I would have taken that chance when it was there. So you're always given like those two doors, which one you want, one or two. I'll take the second door, I'll take the first door. Don't take a door. If you don't know what's behind it, don't take it. If you know what I'm telling you, when you open the door, when you're leaving your body, that your guide's there, that you should accept and believe in and work with. Because it's not going to hurt you. Or I say, well, there's 5 doors. I could go a lot of different ways. Don't take the chance. You can go backwards real easy in this reality, which you shouldn't want to do either. All right. Like Hinduism, they use Kama Sutra, Kundalini energy, all negative energy, which they call positive energy, bringing you to God. Really? To the highest level. They don't use the word God. All right. What's the highest level? That the body can vibrate at? Meaning sexual desire, sexual fantasy, sexual peak? Is that the highest? Yes, in this reality it is. And we perceive that to be realization, awareness, the highest we can attain. It isn't. It's a lie. The mind takes the five passions as the most important thing, and they are not. Well, I'm going to leave it at there for today. All right. Uh, so, questions, people? Like I said, Skype me. All right. All right. Trump, I mean, not Trump, Musk is really talking about robots and programming and all that stuff. Uh, he's twisting it. He's lying. He's contradicting himself. Uh, do we need any of that? No, but it's going to be the number one thing affecting us. And the other one that will be is UN Agenda 21 30. That's one world order by 2030. And it's going to be probably happening. It's happening right now. We're already in stage 4. So, people, this isn't a game. The Matrix makes it sound like a game because when you're in it playing it, it is a game. As long as you want to play it, it's the game. When you decide to get out of it, you realize how much it is not a game and also how much you're stuck in it. All right, I'm out of the game. And I'm waiting for the game, not the game, for my reality to close down. I'm setting everything up. My partner just died 3 times last 2 weeks ago. I got to make sure everything's okay for her if I had to leave tomorrow. I have my life, have a life insurance policy, which is the highest I could afford right now. I want to make sure that there's somebody that could replace me if I'm gone. All right. I'm her caregiver, and I take care of her. I do everything for her right now. She's not completely disabled. So, again, she has a lot of friends. Do I trust any of her friends? No. Do I know anybody that would be suitable to work with her? No. So, yeah, I have to stick around for those reasons. I know why I was here this whole lifetime. It was probably one of the worst lifetimes I had out of all my lifetimes because I'm paying off all my karma, working out all the details, understanding where it went wrong. It really didn't go wrong. It was my choice. And also, it took me 60 years to learn it. Why I would come back to planet Earth after I spent a lifetime with Jesus. I was a female. Mary Magdalene was my closest friend. Why would I come back to this world? All right. I answered it. I got a solid answer, and I know why. So we all have a reason why we stay here and come back. And that's what we need to find, not the relationship, not all the other words that we look for. All right. And if you're not aware of your past lives, you'll never find that answer. Because you have to realize why you created karma and why you kept coming back, why you kept doing these things over and over. What was the main thing? I will tell you this. Love is part of it wasn't really love, but it was the aspect of what love is. The idea of it and everything else. But then that wasn't what it was for me. With that, people, enjoy your night, morning, wherever it is, wherever you are. I'm leaving this open. Like I said, the link's there. You can send it to anybody you want. If you know anybody that would listen, send it to them. If not, don't bother. So, peace, love, compassion, whatever you need in your life, whatever you want, I hope you get it. Questions, please email me or Skype me, Hawksblood11. All right. I'm usually up most of the night, but I can't talk at nighttime. My partner's sleeping, and I can't wake her up. So my time's 2 hours different than California and 5 hours different than the East Coast. All right, people. Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii, and it's not as beautiful as you think it is. In one way, but most of the ways it is not. It's another place that's in the physical reality that has physical things going on. All right. Till next time, people. Peace.